Hello, we're looking at how to make a PebblePad portfolio. The easiest way to get in is to log into Moodle, then use the Services menu to hop across to PebblePad. You can also Google for PebblePad and go in directly if you want to. Before we start, let's have a look at what we can put into portfolios. Here's our sample portfolio. There are lots of different blocks you can put in, different ideas of text, web links, links to files. You can have banners and images included. And you can bring things in from other websites. Here's a Padlet, Google Map, YouTube video, and so on. Let's make our own. If I click on the three-line menu and then Get Creative, I can create a portfolio. You get a page with a banner on to start with. To add more pages, there's a plus button. You can add a page. To change the name of pages, click on the little cog, type your new name, and confirm. Before we get too much further, we ought to save our PebblePad. Give the portfolio a sensible name that you can find later. And that's now saved. All content is going to be added from the Add Content button. The first thing we're going to look at is the banner. This page has already got one on. It's as simple as typing on top of the banner. You've got a few options within the banner itself, such as replace the image. And then with PebblePad blocks, there's a Properties tab that opens from the top right hand side here, and that will give you a few more options for whatever block you're currently on. So I'm going to swap it to a small block without a subtitle. These options will change depending on what block you're currently clicked in, and I can leave it open. I'm going to close it though. If we have a look at adding content, the next thing along is text boxes. So you can type into a text box, and you've got some basic controls above for styling. We recommend, if you're going to type a large amount of text, you prepare it in Word first. It's got word count, it's a bit of a nicer environment to type in, and then copy and paste it into here. Again, the Properties tab on the right will bring out some options. I want to put a bit of colour on there. And there we go. We'll come back to text boxes when we talk about files in a few minutes' time. Let's have a look at adding images. Before I add an image, I'm going to take a diversion off to another website that we like. We're going to Pixabay. We recommend Pixabay for getting general images from for several reasons. First thing is a lot of good images, very good technical quality, as well as interesting images to use. Second reason is these images are all copyright free. You can use them without crediting them. So if you want to use them on a website or any other use, you can pretty much use them for whatever you want. If you have searched for something, the top line here is an advert for iStock. So that's paying for the website, but don't use those because those are commercial images. Pick something else, click on it, click download. The top resolution requires a login, worth doing if you want the higher quality, but for screen resolution that we want today, I'm just going to go for the next one down and click the download button. That's going to go into my downloads today, but you can obviously store that away somewhere else. So back in PebblePad, we add an image block, and it talks about opening the asset store. The asset store is just your stuff on PebblePad. So if I open that up, you can see I've got a lot of stuff in here already, and an upload new button. You'll have an upload new button even if you haven't used PebblePad before. It might be a bit smaller than mine. Click on the button, choose the file, go into my downloads, and open that up. Now you must scroll down. It's a good idea to put an alt text in, but then right at the bottom is the confirm upload button. And there's our image. And again, there are a few but not many options on the right hand side here to just give you some of your own styling. In terms of adding video and audio, you can add direct files to here, but there are size limits. So if it's a very large file, you might need to put it somewhere else, such as a YouTube hidden category or something like that, and then embed it in, which we're going to look at in a second. But if it's a small file, you can just add it directly in the same way as you add an image. So the embed block brings things in from other websites. I'm going to open up a YouTube tab, and then all you have to do is grab the URL, the web address from the top of the screen, back in PebblePad, in the embed block, paste that in, and that will bring it in from YouTube. There are lots of other services that are available. If you're using your own files, such as in OneDrive, you do need to make sure that all the file permissions are sorted out so people can access it without needing a login, but lots of things can be brought onto a PebblePad page. The last block along the list is a quote block, which is just a fancy text block. And again, properties on the right hand side, we can style it how we want to make it our own. So we're going to go back now to look at text blocks, and the reason we're doing that is that those are how you add a file or a web link. So you need some words, and if I go and find the website I'm interested in, if I had a particular BBC News story for instance, again, I can copy the web link. I highlight the bit of text that I want to use as a link, and then the link button's over here. Put the web link into the top box and add the link. That's going to give me a link to that BBC News article. I can't test it from in here. Clicking on it doesn't actually open it. We need to be in preview mode for that. Looks the same without a few of the controls, but now when I scroll down I can click on the news article and up it'll come. I'll go back to PebblePad. To get back into changing things, I need to go edit this asset. The other reason you might be using a text block with a link is to add a file to PebblePad. So I'll add another text block, could be in the same one. So again, I'm going to highlight some words here. This time I don't have a link already. I'm going to go into the link box, and this bottom half links to your assets. That's your things on PebblePad. Go into more items because it isn't there already. We're going to upload a new thing, choose a file, and find the file. Again, scroll all the way down to confirm it, and then add the link. And again, to see that file, you're going to need to be in preview mode. And if we click on it in preview mode, it'll open the file up for you to view. Back to portfolio and back into edit mode if you want to make any further changes. So those are all the things we can add. You can have as many of each on each page as you like. Build up pages in layers. It's not so much layout as stacking things up in the right order. If you want to rearrange your page, click on the block, then on the left hand side you can maneuver it up or down using the arrows here. If you want to delete a block, click on it and then a little cross will appear, and that will give you the option to delete. Make sure you save regularly. Next time you come into PebblePad, if I click on the PebblePad logo here, I'll go back to the front screen. You might see it in stuff you've worked on recently, but you definitely will find your portfolio in the 3-line menu in the Asset Store, which is your stuff. These are the files I've uploaded this morning, including the PebblePad portfolio I've been working on. Click on the name of it to get back into it and carry on working. Lastly, to submit your work, it's a bit different to most other submissions at York St John. You submit from within PebblePad. You get into your portfolio, you go to I want to share with Atlas, and it says for assessment. You need to pick the right workspace that you're sharing to. It should have a tick on it. Click on it. It'll tell you the deadlines. And it's important to note that PebblePad works on a different model. I can share this or submit it anytime, and usually you can carry on revising or changing right up until the deadline. So check these dates out carefully, and they tell you what you're allowed to do. Agree to the terms of usage and share the asset. As I said, you can carry on working on it now right up until the deadline. Make sure you hit save regularly though, because it's the last saved version. You should get an email to your York St John email saying that you've submitted your work.
More help is available from Digital Trading. Send us an email, book a tutorial session, or see the help pages on our website.